how are you all doing today? You all doing good? Yeah? Okay. Right. Most of you haven't met me before. My name is Kelvin Uchemefune. I'm a life coach and a speaker. Now, it's funny because at one point in your life, you get a light bulb moment. And you realize that there's something that you could do with your life. And you realize that there's more to life than what we will normally settle for. And that could happen at any point of your life. So very quickly, raise your hands if you want to experience more freedom in doing the things that you love. Raise your hands if you want to achieve even more out of your life. Come on, say aye. Come on, say aye. I mean, the ladies are out there now. Let the men say aye. Now, we're getting to a point now where we understand that to succeed, to make something out of our lives, the responsibility is on you. The responsibility is now on you. The economy has failed us. The government has failed us. Community has failed us. It is now up to me and you to take life by the horn and say, yes, we're going to make a difference with our lives. Whatever life gives to us, we're going to turn it around and make something out of it. So maybe where you are right now, maybe this is where you are right now, you're in a place where you realize that you're not there yet. Maybe right now you're looking at your life and you're looking at your dream and you're asking questions. Is this going to happen for me? Is this really going to work? I mean, I've been to so many conversations, been to so many workshops, been to so many events, and I keep getting so much message coming through. And I walk away and it's all over. And I'm back to reality, back to working 9 to 5, back to doing the same old things over and nothing's happening. So maybe where you are right now, you're in a place where you've got so much dreams, so much ideas, but you lack the energy, you lack the motivation to get yourself going. You lack the action, the will to act, the will to do the things that will give you a sense of freedom, a sense of significance. Maybe where you are right now, you're boiling with ideas. And when you knock on the door, they say no to you. You're faced with rejection. And then you're questioning this whole thing. Is this really real, Steve? Is it really real? Is it really real? I mean, it happened to them. Can it just happen to me, please? And then you're in that position. Maybe right now you're stuck in the rut. You don't know whether to go right or to go left. You're in a position where you're trying to make the right decision. And decision. You never make decision. You're over-analyzing. You know what they say? You analyze and it leads to paralysis. You go ahead and you don't take any action. And before you know it, one day is gone, 2 days gone, a month's gone, and before you know, a year is gone. And you're still stuck in the same idea that you had 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 months ago. And sometimes when you walk away from where you are and you check the next street, you realize that someone started your dream. Someone started the same idea that came to you. They say when an idea comes, it comes into 7 people at the same time. So it takes the first person to get in to start the whole thing. So maybe right now you have been in that same position and maybe you just lack the motivation or clarity of vision, clarity of purpose. Maybe you're struggling to find out your identity. How do I get out there when the big conglomerates and the big organizations are out there? How do I face these giants, these big people? I'm just a little guy with a small dream, but with a small idea. All I've got is my house, and I'm trying to put this together and all that. And they're like, these guys are huge. How do I stand out in the marketplace? How do I bring out my identity in the market? Maybe right now you are struggling with all of that right now. Maybe right now you're working in a place that berates you, that do not value you to the level that you think you should be valued at. Maybe your pay package when you walk home is less than what you would imagined. Maybe when you were growing up, you thought, all right, by the age of 25, I'll be riding my Range Rover or traveling the world or visiting so many cities or doing whatever I want. And right now, you realize it's like you wake up from your dream. You're still struggling to make ends meet. Still struggling to put 1 or 2 things together. Still behind on your bills. Still behind on your movement. And you're like, well, what's going on? Maybe this is where you are now. Now imagine that you are right here. Imagine that you are at this place where you are in control of your time, in control of your energy, in control of your money. You're doing the things that give you a sense of satisfaction, a sense of significance, a sense of like, oh, I wake up today is going to be a great day. And you can boldly walk into the marketplace and demand for what you want. Imagine that you are right there. Imagine that your brand, your business is producing the results that you want for yourself. Imagine that you are right there. You go to bed at night, wake up in the morning just when you're done sleeping. Imagine that's the kind of life that you have. Achieving purpose, living for a higher cause, a higher calling, a higher calling. Imagine you are waking up every day and say, yes, I'm happy, I'm alive today because I am going to impact someone's life positively. Imagine that you are living life for a bigger cause, a bigger vision. They say there are many losers and there are many winners, but there are those who haven't figured out how to win. Other people say some people aim too high and some people aim too low. Some people, the difficult part is that those who aim too low achieve it and they feel that's okay. But those who aim too high, they achieve it. So what's the difference between those two? So imagine that you are right here and you say, look, I've got to see myself bigger than I am. I'm going to deliver something out of my life. I'm going to step into the marketplace and say, hey, I have just arrived. Listen to me. I am Kelvin Uchemefune. I am a speaker. You need to come to my event. Imagine that you wake up every morning, you demand what you want out of life, rather than accepting what life throws at you. Imagine that you are right there. Now, you would agree with me that to get from A, where there's lack of purpose, lack of clarity, confusion, questions, things are not happening the way you want them to, and you get to this point, you'd agree with me that to get from A to B, there's got to be a strategy. Is that right? Come on, say aye. It's going to be a strategy, something that pulls you out, a vehicle that takes you to B. And that's the vehicle I want to share with you today in this personal development masterclass. I want to talk about the tool that will push you from A to B. You know that there are people out there, Callum, that need to be right here today, but they're not here today. So I want you to look at someone on your left and your right and say, congratulations. We have got to a point in life where we have got to assume our leadership. We have got to a point in life where we have got to assume leadership. And leadership is discovering who you are, discovering your true identity, and paying the price to live that life. Nelson Mandela said, I will die even if it will cost me to die. Let me die, but I must fight for the freedom of my people. Passion. We have got to live life with so much passion, so much energy, so much power, so much determination. But because we can't act cool anymore. I might dress cool to you, but I'm rugged. I'm rough about life because I understand that I've got to make decisions, and sometimes decisions very quickly. Act in the moment. Act in the moment. Why should you listen to this? Why should you listen to this today? One thing I believe very quickly is that as we progress through life, our journeys are different, but the enemies that we all face are the same. Right? Mark Zuckerberg, Adele, who else? All of them. All the top people, you can name their names down right now, who are making things out there. They're going through the same thing that we're going through. If you're an entrepreneur, you want to start your business or you're in business, they all went through the same thing. The same enemy. And some people can call the enemy the devil or whatever, or even your next door neighbor could be your enemy. Stopping you. But the enemy that I'm referring to here today is the enemy of fear. Fear has stopped many destinies. Fear has crippled many people, many destinies from moving forward. Fear has stopped people from starting up an idea, an invention, whatever it is in their heart that they've conceived. Fear crippled them. Fear stopped them. Fear, what's fear? False evidence appearing real. It looks like it's real. Oh, they're going to reject me. Okay, and so what? And so what? And so what? Fear has stopped many people from stepping out on their goals, on their dreams, on their own self-interest. But you see, every day, you look at the train, the transit to London up and down, you see bulks of people in the train struggling, trying to get to work, into a job that only pays them just enough to keep them from quitting. A job that literally you get paid and your bills go out of it, and that's the end of it. And then we live for another day, Another day on, another day on, another day on. Back and back, 9 to 5, on and on. You see, but there are entrepreneurs, people who have decided that they're going to make a difference out of their life. So fear is a powerful tool that you can actually use your fear. You can use your fear for your own advantage. Fear has stopped many people. It was the words of Miles Murray. It says the wealthiest place in the world is not the gold mines of South America, nor the oil fields in Iraq or Iran. That's not the wealthy place. The wealthy place is not the banks of the world or the diamond mines in South Africa. No. The wealthiest place in the world is just down the road. As a matter of fact, some of you have driven past one today. It is the cemetery. There you will find inventions that were never made, books that were never written, manuscripts that were never designed, masterpieces that were never painted, songs that were never sung, companies that were never started, inventions that were never made. There you will find the greatest treasure of untapped potential right there in the cemetery. Because fear has crippled many people down. Fear has stopped people from showing up to life, showing up powerfully, showing up in what they have been created to do with their own life. That's why you should listen to this today, because you want to take charge of your own life. You want to take charge about your own resources. Come on. What else? Why should you listen to this? Well, we all go through the motion of, am I good enough? We question our own self. Am I good enough for this? Am I good enough to be wealthy? Am I good enough to start out as an entrepreneur? Am I good enough to be self-employed? Am I good enough to start a family? Am I good enough to get into a good relationship? Am I good enough? That's the question that most people go through. And I've been there through. Am I good enough to stand in front of you to speak? Am I good enough to say to you that you can make it? Am I good enough to be here today? What questions are you asking yourself right now? When you think about your dreams, when you think about your vision, what questions are you asking yourself on a daily basis? What questions? What questions? Why should you? One of the things I believe is man is a tripartite view where man has a body, a soul, and a spirit. Now, I believe there's a God. I don't know about you, what you believe, but I believe very quickly that there is a spirit in a man, and there is a body in a man, which is your body sitting right here. But the soul part of your body is your mind, which is what I want to focus on today. Is your mind is a very powerful tool. Your mind is a powerful tool. See, as a matter of fact, a group of footballers were taken to they just finished playing football. Yeah, I'm a Chelsea supporter. Who's Chelsea supporter here? Oh, come on now. Come on now. Nobody was saying the scores lately, Joe. All right. Man United. All right, great. So they took a group of footballers into a room after they're playing a football game. And the coach comes in and says, you know what, you guys are not going home today. As a matter of fact, you're not going away here for 7 days. He said, what? What are you saying? You're not going anywhere for 7. We're going to put you in a room. Because why? We've noticed there's a virus here. And the virus is going around you. And we need to make sure that you're quarantined, separate from everybody, so we can do a search and find out what the problem is and cure it. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? What's going on? I need to go home. So they're all in the room. The second day, while staying in the room, 2 people couldn't get out of bed. 2 out of 11, they just felt, oh man, they felt weak. Their legs, their arms, everywhere. The third day, the fourth day, all of them couldn't get out of bed. The final day, the 7th day, all 11 players had one symptoms or the other. And then the coach comes in and says, I need to make an announcement here. As a matter of fact, right here, there's no virus here, apparently. We were only just testing the power of words. We're only just testing the power of autosuggestion, that we say something and that you believe it. We're just testing the power of words. These symptoms that you've generated, we don't know where you got that from, but that's not from here. What am I saying? Words are powerful. Words are powerful things. So your mind, whatever your mind can perceive, it can achieve. That's why your mind is a powerful tool. This is why you need motivation on a daily basis. You need it because your mind needs that energy. The same way you eat to fill your body up, the same way you shower on a daily basis to look good, the same way you go to the gym and look all fit, so does your mind need constant development, constant purging. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Just one negative word about someone saying that you can't do anything, you need 17 other powerful words to counteract the effect of just one negative word on your life. So who has said something about you and has kept you in the same place? Who has said something about you and has kept you in the same place? Words are powerful. This is why we need motivation. You'd agree with me, Lewis? We need it on a daily basis. We need on a daily, constant reminder. Why? Because society is telling us something different. Society is telling you it's okay. Society says don't aim too high. Have a small house, have a small car, have a small job, and die. That's what society is telling us. But we have got to break the voice of society over our lives. We've got to channel the right message into our own subconscious level, that we begin to act based on what we tell ourselves. Because what we say to ourselves on a daily basis is as important as anything else that you will ever have, or everything that you'll ever hear. And that's why we need to do this on a daily basis. Steve, will you agree with me? We need this event over and over again. Kelvin Inspires. We need to do more and more so that people can get the right information. They can get empowered. They can step out in the marketplace and identify with them and say, hey, I'm in charge here, okay? Okay, I'm in charge here. That's what we need in this environment that we're living right now. So that's why you need to engage the power of your mind. Now, a social proof was carried out. The social proof is a phenomenon where when you don't know how to act, you get into a different environment and you look at others and you imitate them on how they act. So imagine that beautiful car, that Phantom Rolls Royce. You know, that's me right there, in a few years from now, right? With my white hairs and all, yeah? So, the Rose Phantom, imagine a Rose Phantom, as beautiful as that is. They take it to a suburb area, a neighborhood that is classed as impoverished, quote. Now, it's like the hood. They took this brand new car there and they said, let's leave it here overnight and see what happens. We came back the next morning, the same car was right there, intact. Nothing had happened to it. It was right there. So, all right, let's take this guy away. Let's try something else. Let's take a broken down vehicle. They took a dilapidated car. Sorry, I don't have that on my view because I like to keep my vision right. Well, they took a broken down car from the junkyard and brought this car out there. And, they said, all right, the 4 wheels, let's take one wheel out. They took one wheel out of the car and then punched a few holes in the window. Took out the leather seat from the back. One of them strapped it out. Took the leather steering. They took it out. So let's put it there. And they put it in the same environment, the same place. They came back the next morning, and guess what? It's gone. What happened? What happened? Some people were waiting for people to take action. So they looked at the Rolls Royce. No one has stepped there. I ain't going to touch it yet. Let's wait, see what happens. The next day they saw, someone has taken the wheel. Let's grab the other wheel. Let's grab the other part of it. That's the panel. Let's grab the panel. And they took out completely everything out of that car. Why? Because somebody around you is waiting for you to act, Callum. Someone is waiting for you to act. Because the moment they see you act, they begin to say, he can do it, I can do it. And what's even the best is when you succeed, Lewis. When you succeed, how many people around you want to be like you, Joe? Everybody wants to be like you because you're successful. So we are leaders in this place now. We have assumed the position of leadership that, out there are many followers out there, but we are going to be leaders. We are going to succeed with our life. But when you succeed, there are people around you who are going to come and ask how you did it. I want to be like you. I want to be like you. You haven't got two heads, Callum? No. I want to be like you. I want to have the same thing that you have. I want to do the same thing that you do. It was Sidney Poitier that once said, he says, when you're going on a walk with somebody, he says you either adapt to their pace or they adapt to your pace. So my question is, whose pace are you adapting to right now in your life? Whose pace? Who's rubbing off on you, or who are you rubbing off on? Who are you rubbing off on? And that's why this environment, when we come in here, we're energized and we're ready, because we understand that we've got to do something different. And my goal is to channel you, is to challenge you to say, hey, you can do it. You can do whatever you want to do with your life. That is my goal. And then if you're very confident with what's going on, we could talk about since the era of Donald Trump, we've had the fake news era, the fake news. So the news, we can't rely on the news anymore. We can't rely on the news for good information. We never get positive information from the news. All we get is someone dying and someone this and all of that negative stories. So this is why you've got to take charge now. You've got to change. I mean, why should you listen to this conversation today? Because now is the time for you to take action. Now is the time for you to take action on your dreams. It was Muhammad Ali who once said, and I say this all the time, he says, a man who's at the age of 50 and still looks at life the way he did at the age of 30, that man has missed 20 years of his life. Still thinking the same way, still doing things the same way. So what am I saying? Now is the time that you and I take charge of our destiny.